Good afternoon, Monica Miller here. This is Legal Tuesdays, where I answer your questions about separation of church and state. The question I will take today comes from Kurt Van Tassel on our online complaint form, who says, I've often wondered about putting church signs on the public right-of-way. These signs normally say something like XYZ Church 5 miles ahead. The ones that I've seen are not state or local highway type signs. You can tell they are church provided. He wants to know whether these are allowed. So off the bat, there might just be a violation of a regular state or local ordinance. They might have the county or town that you're in might actually have a provision, a rule, a policy that states that you cannot actually put up signs that the church is doing, and they just either haven't received a complaint or they've received a complaint and haven't done anything. But I would recommend in this situation, the first thing to do is actually just to contact your local Department of Transportation or whatever governing jurisdiction has the signs on them and see what they say. If it is not a violation of the ordinance, if there's an ordinance that says that any local establishment here can put up a sign that they want to, then the issue is whether they are applying that policy even-handedly. The alternative is whether there's a church-state violation, is whether the government has said, this is actually our sign and we're promoting the church, which is very unlikely to be the case. So basically the principle being that this is either the church speaking and it's private church speak, and then that's through a government forum. The second option is that it's the government speaking and it's directing people to a church, which most likely wouldn't be allowed. And then the third option is something in between, where the government's created a limited public forum where folks can put up signs subject to certain parameters, and then if the government turned around, say if the humanists wanted to put up a sign and the parallel was a humanist church 3 miles away, they wouldn't be allowed to. A humanist church, of course, being sort of an oxymoron, but something to the effect of Sunday Assembly or the Satanic Temple. Any sort of other religion that wanted to do the same could not be then deprived of doing so once the government has allowed the church to do it. The other alternative is it could be the church's property, and we're just not aware of that. There might be some sort of easement. I highly doubt that's the case in this situation. Most likely the church just put up the signs, and potentially they are violating a state or local ordinance, and they just have not had that enforced against them. So if you do wish to report a violation of this nature and you want us to look into it, just let us know, send us an email, and we can investigate. That's all I have time for today, but I look forward to talking to you on the next segment of Legal Tuesdays.